Today we are going to talk about Kliff Kingsbury, USC, the NFL, and how Lynn Swann managed to look like a punk. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Considering the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time. And today we're going to talk about Kliff Kingsbury, UFC, and how Lynn Swann managed to make the university look like a punk. Now, to start with, USC started out with a banner day, man. At the All-American Bowl, they picked up not one, but 2 5-stars, wide receivers. The one Kyle Ford who catches passes like you read about, and Horace Bru McCoy, he of legend at modern day. At a school where all they do is put out football talent, pro football talent, college football Division I talent, Bru McCoy lords over them all. This is a guy who could play wide receiver, outside linebacker, defensive back, basically whatever you wanted him to do. But it felt like he'd been a USC commit since he was in diapers. And when you find out that during his interview, I kept a USC jersey in my closet, it was never in doubt. I know some folks thought that he might have ended up at Texas. I never thought that. I thought USC was the place where this dude was going just on general principle. This is one of the top prospects in college football recruiting for 2019 class, and I'm really excited to see what he pans out to be. He was being recruited by Alabama to play defense, which to me tells you everything you need to know, because Nick Saban will tell you, look, my best athletes usually play on the defensive side of the ball because they have to be able to react, they have to be proactive, they have to be able to attack, they have to be able to make up ground. And anybody that saw Bru McCoy as a pass rusher was always going, yo, man, just play some linebacker. But he wanted to be a wide receiver, and he showed just what kind of talent he is in the All-American Bowl. Now you got those two guys coming to USC just after you picked up Kliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator at USC, following the departure of T. Martin, where they basically cleaned house and kept Clay Helton. Now, what gets interesting is on top of picking up these 2 outstanding commits that vault you into the top 15 of the 2019 recruiting rankings, both the New York Jets and the Arizona Cardinals want to interview your newly hired offensive coordinator for a head coaching job. Now, there is a rule for which the NFL implemented saying that if athletic director has to sign off on any head coaching candidate that you want to interview at their institution, which means that as soon as they say, I don't want you to interview my guy, the NFL teams need to move on or they'll be reprimanded by the league when there's lots of penalties involved there. But the point here is Lynn Swann, the athletic director at USC, was the first known guy to use this block rule to interviewing one of his candidates. It's a bad look for USC. It's a bad look for Lynn Swann, because a lot of folks would tell you Kliff Kingsbury is being looked into because Baker Mayfield played for him. Doesn't matter what you think about Baker and Kliff's relationship. The fact of the matter is Baker Mayfield looked good in Texas Tech's system and looked better when he got to Oklahoma. He also put Pat Mahomes into the NFL, and you can see a lot of the concepts that he runs, that Mike Leach runs, that Oklahoma runs, being used throughout the NFL. And a sexy pick to win the Super Bowl this year includes the Kansas City Chiefs' Pat Mahomes. And when you look at Sean McVay's offense and its 11 personnel, you can see a lot of the things that Kliff Kingsbury has been doing at Texas Tech for years. And we know that he's an outstanding play caller. We saw that at Texas A&M when he had Johnny Football underneath Kevin Sumlin. We also know that he's got swag, right? This is a very good-looking head coach. This is a very good-looking offensive coordinator. And it would be a good look for, say, the New York Jets, who have Sam Darnold. It'd be a good look for the Cardinals, who have Josh Rosen, and they're all rebuilding. But folks would tell you Kliff Kingsbury probably isn't going to get those jobs. However, it would do great things for him in his career just to be interviewed for those jobs. It's going to help him in recruiting. It's going to help him with any other job that he wants to get down the line. But Lynn Swann basically showed everybody what he's about when he blocked it in a year where he fired everybody but Clay Helton, basically saying, I want to keep Kliff Kingsbury on the staff because I plan to elevate him just as soon as things don't work out with Clay Helton, which is a bad look for Clay Helton as well as Lynn Swann. And then Lynn Swann looks weak because you're afraid of losing a guy like Kliff Kingsbury to someone else when you are USC. You're one of the prizes of college football. Blue blood or not, you're just one of those teams that everybody is going to be watching. When you're bad, they're watching you. When they're good, they're watching you. Doesn't matter if it's Pete Carroll days or O.J. Simpson days. People care about what USC is doing. People hate them or they love them, kind of like Notre Dame. So for Lynn Swann to make this move just screams punk. It screams, I don't want to go out there and recruit. I don't want to go get another offensive coordinator. I don't want to believe that USC is a destination job for some folks. And I want the NFL to keep its mitts off the guy that I just hired, like it was really just you. And Kliff Kingsbury was incensed enough by this that a report has surfaced that, hey, I might just pay my buyout and take my chances because I don't want this to continue to happen, which is to say he might want to get interviewed for another head coaching job in the NFL. And if Lynn Swann were to block it, that's not a good look for Kliff as well, right? Because this is a guy who wants to have a head coaching job again. He would probably take a job in the NFL as an offensive coordinator. I don't know that he'd be a head coach, but also let's just keep it real and say that Kliff Kingsbury probably doesn't end up in the NFL in 2019. However, Gil Brandt put out a tweet about whether or not he thought Kliff Kingsbury or Kyler Murray would be in the NFL, and he was like, yo, check it out. I wouldn't be surprised if Kliff Kingsbury was the head coach in the NFL this year, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kyler Murray returned to Oklahoma in 2019. I don't think that that's on the level, but Gil Brandt is also the guy who told Bob Stoops to go hire Lincoln Riley, and we saw how that all worked out, and Gil Brandt is a legend. So if he says it, you at least have to entertain it. But this is all getting to be a fascinating soap opera around Lynn Swann, USC, and Kliff Kingsbury, and the drama follows Kliff Kingsbury around. I can't wait to see some sort of Netflix documentary come out of this for which Kliff Kingsbury is the star. That needs to happen, Netflix. Send a crew in there to USC, see how this all unfolds. I think you got a last chance you situation if you want it. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.